the young OG, your favorite lawyer, unless you're married to a lawyer, then your favorite lawyer should probably be whoever you're married to. I am so excited to be here. I've been on a super duper long hiatus. I apologize. Blame it on COVID. Since I haven't been, having this one-on-one time with y'all since COVID, since Strong Arm Radio Day. So I'm just excited to be here on this new platform. Super, super happy to be back. And because it is the premiere episode, I wanted to make it special. I wanted to make it awesome. So joining me at the adult table for the top of the show will be Professor of Law, lawyer, rapper, and my friend Timothy Welbeck. And then later on in the show, we will have some of my amazing castmates from Ready to Love Season 7, which I know all of you are watching and just, eating up every Friday, 8 p.m. on Oprah Winfrey Network. So again, I'm super excited to be here, the adult table. It's going to be something. I just want to let you guys know right now. It's going to be raw. It's going to be unfiltered. We're going to talk about everything. And, it's my time to just have the one-on-one time with y'all. So super, super excited to welcome Timothy Welbeck. I told you guys he's a professor of law. He's a lawyer. He's a rapper. And I call him my friend. I don't know if he calls me his friend, but that's okay. He's joining us from Philly. Welcome, 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 Professor.
Sue Ann, I absolutely call you my friend, and I'm so glad to be on your show.
I am so glad to have you here. I appreciate you. I know you have a ton going on, directing Temple University Center for Anti-Racism, being on CBS and being on CNN, and gathering people, being a whole.
Yeah. I'm doing what I can. I mean, life is full right now, but it's a good busy though.
Being a lawyer, being a dad, being a husband.
Yes.
So I know.
Yes, absolutely. But I mean, you know what it's like. Mother, attorney, entrepreneur, television host.
I think it's going to do this. I'm trying to give you your flowers. Okay, that's what I'm trying to.
I appreciate that. I truly do.
So how are you?
I'm tired, but aside from that, I'm all right.
Okay. Rest is revolutionary. We talked about that.
Listen, rest is revolutionary. I am going to do as the songwriter says and go lay down a little later on tonight.
I love it. So let's get into it. The most important question before we really, really get into it is Biggie or Tupac?
Oh, so I got to say Tupac because I'm teaching a class on him this semester. So, yeah.
That's a fair answer. So now all the viewers, everybody who sees this is going to be like, hey, we got to view everything he says through the lens of a Tupac.
Yeah, we just wrapped up class a few hours ago, actually. And so this is the second week of the semester. And so we did a little introduction because most of my students weren't alive when he was murdered. So I feel old just thinking about that. It's like it's grown people that weren't born when he was murdered. I was like, oh, I remember where I was when I heard the news.
Right, absolutely. Of course, that was a big thing for us. That's huge. Biggie and Tupac. So
absolutely.
That's really that sets the stage for me. Like a lot of people using signs, like is you Sagittarius, is you Libra. I'm like Biggie or Tupac. Okay, I know where you at with it.
Okay. So who do you say? My guess would be Big.
Yes. That's correct.
Yeah, there we
go. Represent a Phoenix Core and represent the estate, and obviously I'm a huge Tupac fan. Yeah. But if I had to pick one,
yeah. I forgot you did that. You might have to come to class and talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was fun times. H&M, a couple stores kept having the poetic justice merchandise, and that was violating trademark and the copyright. So we got it. We got them together.
Make sure that's right. Get them together.
So how I start my show after our intros and stuff is the What the Bleak Person of the Week.
Oh,
and perfect that you're here.
Yes.
Because you've been going around talking on very important networks about this particular issue, not necessarily this person, but he's the one that did. So my what the bleep person of tonight is Ronaldo DeSantis.
You had to say the whole name. Yeah, get him all the way out of here. What are y'all doing in Florida right now?
I've really grown. Now that I'm 40, I'm grown now because previously I would never say 45's name. I would just call him 45. I still do. I don't, I'm just not mature enough to say his name. But Ronaldo, I gotta say his whole name because I need y'all when y'all see this on the ballot.
Yes.
I need y'all to be like, no.
Out here. Yes.
Okay, so I have to come out hot and heavy on him because with all the things that are going on in Florida that a governor needs to address, climate change, housing issues, he focuses a lot of his time on Black people business.
He's staying Black people business. Well, he wants to be president. Ever since he ran for governor the first time, he modeled himself off of 45. And so like his first campaign ads were a tongue-in-cheek reference to Trump. And even like teaching his child to build a wall with Legos and things like that, and mimicking him, and he's mimicked Trump's hand gestures and mannerisms. It's appalling that it's actually working, that there's so many people who are so gullible, but it just shows you just how alluring racism is to people in America. You can still look at the white grievances and go a long way.
He has a whole piece of legislation called Stop Woke Act. And I'm like, so you just gonna just play right in our face? You're gonna put woke in the actual piece of legislation, like, hey, Black people, I don't mess with y'all. Like, come on. And it's just a piece of legislation where he's preventing faculty from preventing certain viewpoints that he says are related, that he thinks are related to race or cause issues with it. Hey, BC Starks, what's going on? Hey for today. You're a professor. How does it translate when the governor is saying, hey, don't teach kids this? Like,
it's
with students.
It's excessive overreach, and they frame it as indoctrination, but they're the ones who are stifling free speech and critical analysis and actual discussions of history. And it also gets in the way of any form of intellectual curiosity, which is what you want to see in universities. And so you want contrasting viewpoints, but you want them to be good faith. You want them to be based in something that's grounded in some type of theoretical framework, but also grounded in some form of fact. So long as it does that, you should be willing to accept contrasting viewpoints. But we're not even saying anything controversial. The record is clear as in terms of America's treatment of Black people. Now, America has never dealt well with acknowledging how it's done our people, but the facts are the facts.
And it's almost like, let's not teach about this because then it gives us an opportunity to further not have to acknowledge things. And I feel like, obviously, if you don't acknowledge something, you can't fix it. You can't remedy it. You can't give the next generation tools to get it sorted out if you're saying, oh, we're not going to talk about it. Right now, the newest piece of the woke, stop woke, whatever foolishness Ronaldo got going on is that he is banning advanced placement African American history.
Yeah. That was, again, I'm not surprised, but I'm deeply disappointed, especially the way that he's come out and framed it as though it's some form of indoctrination. It's a pilot course that was a decade in the making, rigorously vetted and prepared. I actually had a chance to review the syllabus myself, and he should be elated that students in Florida would have an opportunity to learn what was presented in that syllabus. But instead, he wants to, again, stifle free speech. He wants to stop the teaching of Black history, and he wants to pull the most sensational elements of it out of there. Like, for example, he says it's indoctrinating students with queer theory. there is one lesson out of 32 that deals with queer theory, and it's doing it within the framework of there are some Black people who are queer, and there are Black people who are queer who have helped to shape the discourse around civil rights. And so it's using that as a framework to help us better understand this history. But even again, to call it indoctrination, it's only 60 courses offering 60 course offerings across the entire nation. And there are more than 2,200 high schools in Florida as a whole. And it's an AP course. So everyone doesn't get to take the course. It's selective, and it's not even in every high school in Florida. So again, it's not indoctrination. It's not even pervasive. And it's not like you're teaching Black history anyway. So like all of this, again, like you said, there's so many other things to be focused on and things that should consume his time and attention. Hurricane season will be vastly approaching. Miami is falling apart.
Do you think he's doing it because you said in the top that he has presidential aspirations? Do you think this is like him, like trying to rally his base, like just by saying Black and saying woke, and then saying I don't like these things? He's getting those people in line to be like, oh, okay, this is our candidate because this is what this is the kind of following the 45 kind of. Okay, so maybe that's honestly. Let me tell you something.
Yes,
I noticed that he did not post. He posted "Happy Birthday, Martin Luther King" on Tuesday, the Tuesday after the holiday. So it's Martin Luther King's birthday is on Sunday.
Martin Luther King. Come on, talk about it.
The federal holiday is on Monday, and he posts on Tuesday "Happy Birthday." It's like he needs a class. Because he don't even know when Martin Luther King's birthday is.
I mean all that's deliberate. And not only that, I mean, his Stop Woke Act is preventing the teachings of Dr. King in class too. So in primary and secondary schools across Florida. So
he doesn't want people to learn about reparations or what they can eat. He doesn't want people, and I posted on my page about intersectionality just because when that word popped up, I was like, listen, as a Black woman, obviously I live at the intersection of race and gender. And, because of that, I have my own unique set of things I have to deal with in the world and my own unique set of microaggressions and discrimination and all that stuff. And he's saying we can't have a discussion on who we are. Like, if that's not oppressive, I don't know what is.
Absolutely. And it truly distills down to they want to put forth one viewpoint, one agenda, and that be the framework that's viewed as legitimate, and anything else is an affront to what they consider normalcy. And that's really what it boils down to. They want to subjugate us as they've done throughout time. And this is just another continuation of it. And I think part of it is I think he legitimately believes some of these things, but I also know that he's being performative in that, like I said, I think he has national aspirations. I think he wants to be president, and he's trying to build a track record to have a base in place to be the Republican front runner. And that's why even in the gubernatorial debates, he wouldn't commit to serving out the entirety of his term because it overlaps with the next presidential election. So
right. And we need help in Florida, Timothy. I don't know how I'm gonna recruit you. I don't know what we're gonna do because we need help down here. We need a front runner candidate that's not people business. Okay. And to the extent they are in Black people business, it's in the business of helping to make things better for Black people, not oppressing or suppressing Black people, because no, this is not it.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, that's what was so disappointing about Gilliam too, because Gilliam seemed like he was well poised to be a leader. I don't know how people in Florida feel about him now, but at least in that cycle, I felt like he was well qualified. And it seems like the pressure of the loss, which now it seems like it may have even been taken from him to some degree too, with some of the maneuvering of DeSantis. But yeah, like y'all need somebody. I don't know who. I mean, I don't know. You trying to run? I mean, you are eligible.
He was my SGA president, so it's at FAMU. So I was like, okay,
let's get it.
Let's go.
So it sounds like you need to run, Sue Ann. That's what it sounds like.
For
I'll
real.
knock on doors for you.
Let me tell you what. Well, let me not. I'm not going to manifest nothing crazy, but I'll say this.
Okay.
My thoughts on me running for public office today on January 26, 2023 are that would be very difficult for a single Black woman.
I understand.
You know, it would, I don't know. I mean, hey, just today.
Yes.
Today.
I understand.
Who knows?
Well, there might be some matching pajamas in your future, I heard. So, you know, maybe when you got some matching pajamas,
You gotta tune in. You gotta tune in. I can't tell you.
Yes, I know. I'm messing because I know you can't give it away. So
I appreciate you. So that was my Worth the Week person of the week. We'll go into the news and ninjas. And the first ninja on the list is, okay, so I don't know if you saw this. A co-defendant in the Young Thug trial walks up to Young Thug in the courtroom and does a hand contact and allegedly passes him a Percocet in open court.
In open court.
And
you got to get your people.
I did learn. Okay.
Here it is. He's coming from right there, from the back corner.
This is the video here. Young Thug sings that song. "You Gonna Be Proud of Me." Hey, best friend. No, that's my best friend. Best friend.
So wild. You're brazen.
And I just want to say, as a defense attorney, the defense attorney's response was exactly what it should have been. He was like, my client was shocked when this person walked up to him and gave him a Percocet. Like, what? Like, he was shocked. I mean, I would have been shocked too. I would have definitely, but come on.
I had seen it all. I could not. I read the headline first, and I was like, "Why y'all gonna lie on that man like that?" And then I saw the video. And I was like, "There's no way."
He walked smooth. I know you did.
I was wondering if he was gonna do that.
That is not a Young Thug song.
It's not, but it still fits though. It still fits. Let's play.
What is going on? How are you showing up to court, walking smooth in court, and just be like, "Hey, dog, here's a perk real quick." And then I saw some of the reports saying that they actually searched Young Thug, that he had marijuana on him, that it allegedly was wrapped in like some seasoning or something to like conceal it. Like, where was he going? Where was he going with all this stuff? Like,
I don't know what's going on, but
oh my God, where is my thing?
This is not the way to stay out of prison. I know that much. I know that much. And
fighting, doing the most important work of our time, trying to alleviate the drama. For y'all to go to court and do this, no.
I mean, because you know, people already have opinions about him and stereotypes and stigmas about rappers and young Black men in Atlanta, and like y'all passing Percocets in open court. I mean, like, look at all these people. Look at all these people who are in the room right now. I would.
It's like, I know his mama is at home. Like I know him well, and he look good. Listen.
I like the suit. Listen, that's my color. I love the suit color.
He had a suit, and he was like, okay, and then this foolishness, Lord.
Yeah.
You know what?
Looked like he got his hair braided recently too. I mean, he got the braids tightened up. I mean, he was ready to go, except for like they passing drugs around in court.
They're like, sir, what is going on here?
Yeah. So.
Okay, this is a conversation just for Black people. Not excluding anyone, but this is a very special conversation for two reasons. One, because it involves Martin Luther the King. And number two, because it's Black people business. So the new Martin Luther King sculpture. Let me just say, before we show the sculpture and go into the issues with the sculpture, I don't like performative things. A lot of times as you know, in our society, in America, the way that systemic racism is addressed is do something performative for them. Let them get a statue. Name a street after Tupac. You know, do something performative. And I hate that. I don't want to be that grumpy Black person, but that performative stuff gets on my nerves. I'm like, you know, put money into inner city schools. Let's break the school to prison pipeline. Let's do some real stuff.
Real stuff.
It's enough with the statues. However, it's Martin Luther the King. It's Coretta. You know, it's a big.
Is it really though? Are we sure? Are we 100% certain? Because we can't see their face though.
MLK hugging Coretta or embracing her, which I think is super important because a lot of times the women in the movement are disappeared from the history. So I was like, okay, we're gonna get a sculpture featuring Coretta. I was ready to see her like hoist out with like a Sunday hat or just something. You know, I was ready. And then they unveiled this. When I saw it, I was just like, what is this? And the part, I wanted to be mad at it. I wanted to be more mad at it. And then they said, Hank Willis
Thomas, yeah.
Who's Black, did the sculpture.
So, Suanne, I'm with you. Like, we need more than performative gestures. And you know, if we're still going to get brutalized in the streets and disenfranchised everywhere we go, you can save the paint and the bronze and do something else with it. But I personally just wanted to know why we had to do an abstraction of King and Coretta. How come we couldn't have their actual faces? I thought that would have been important. And I know Hank Willis Thomas likes to do abstract art, but to remove Coretta's face and to remove King's face, I feel like it takes away from the potency of it, especially because if you don't catch it at the right angle, I saw all types of jokes. I don't know if we can say the people say it look like on Twitter, but it really loses the message that they're trying to convey.
I'm not feeling it, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Yeah, I would have preferred a smaller statue, maybe even a life-size statue of them actually embracing. Like I would have like full body. Like if you're going to go through all that work to make something so large, why not invest the time to do something more lifelike? But they didn't ask me.
That part. Now, I don't like to address super heavy stuff right before we go into having the rest of our guests on, but we have to talk about it at least briefly. What's going on in Memphis right now, and these 5 officers that were charged with brutalizing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's my hometown too. I was born in Memphis too, so I was disappointed to see that come out. But like the police kill us everywhere.
What? I mean, okay, so I know that the people gonna say, you know, they're Black. Let me just say this, as someone who practices in the space along with you, I have never seen officers arrested and charged this fast.
In 2 weeks. In 2 weeks.
Ever since Trayvon, I ain't never seen it. And
fired and charged in 2 weeks. I ain't never seen nothing like that.
Tyre Nichols' life mattered.
Yes, it did.
And so I agree, the officers should be charged. They should be lose their jobs. What they did was absolutely heinous and inexcusable. And my tongue-in-cheek question is this going to be the standard for everybody going forward? Hopefully. And number 2, I'm not conjuring them. I'm just asking, where is Blue Lives Matter at?
Where are they? Where are they?
Where y'all at?
I don't see you. I don't see you. I don't hear you either. Like, where y'all at though?
Coming
Yeah.
forward for these 5 Black officers at all. And let me just say this. I hope that their silence is loud
Mm-hmm.
to these officers that are being trained in this culture. To be like, you know what? I don't need to do all that. I don't need to do all that. I don't need to do all that, period.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to get the support that my counterparts get.
Yeah. Muhammad Noor learned when he shot Justine Diamond that, you know, it don't work the same way for Black officers. And that part is the painfully predictable part about it all, because it really reveals what we have said all along. These people don't care about Black people, and they also don't care about police officers, but they do care about police officers' ability to brutalize Black people. And that's what Blue Lives Matter was from the outset, to suppress our voices and to continue voicing a support for the status quo. But like you said, I haven't heard or seen them say anything in support of these 5 officers, especially the swift nature of the accountability. I thought I had misread the headline when I saw that they were charged with a crime. I said, wait a minute, they do that?
Yes, not just charged with a crime, charged with 2nd-degree murder, aggravated assault, aggravated kidnapping, and official misconduct and official oppression. I said, y'all got statutes for this so early? Oh, well, okay.
Yeah. I was like, what about qualified immunity? What about prosecutorial discretion? Like, where's all of these things?
Listen, I've been hearing and listening to those things for 12 years. So it was news to me to hear that the chief could step in and be like, oh, no, they ain't got no job. Oh, you mean they're on admin leave with pay? No, they're gone.
They're gone. They're like gone. No desk duty with pay. No transfer to another department. We're like, y'all gone, and we hope you don't get another job. Yeah.
Well. May justice be served for him and his family. Okay. So are you going to hang out with me for this next part? Because this is going to be the crazy part.
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay. Because I feel like you would be a great addition because, like I said, you are also not just a lawyer. You are a dad and a husband and all that stuff. And so everyone that was on the cast with me, obviously, we are looking for love. That's the premise of the show. The premise of the show is Black love. So I want to bring some of my castmates on so we can kind of talk about that.
Okay.
Okay. So I want to bring Anthony in, Miami's own. Where's he at?
There we go.
Okay. Oh, Anthony went change his clothes. Y'all make me feel underdressed. I feel like I need to go and change my clothes and come back.
Hold on. Let me put on my adult.
Like Suan's fit, go crazy. Aunt got on, you know what I'm saying? Dope shirt, lounging, looking comfortable. I feel like I need to go change my clothes.
Anthony is a smooth man. That's just him all the time. This is how he looks.
Appreciate it. Thank you. What's going on?
What's going on?
So I'm the man, the myth, the legend, the girl dad, the Army veteran, the nurse practitioner, my castmate Anthony. Thank you for joining at the agenda. I'm just honored to have you here. Because Anthony really knows, along with the rest of my castmates, what the adult table was born from. And so, it's just good to have grown people here to talk about grown things.
I saw the trailers. I know what you're talking about. I'm at the adult table. I saw that part. And I was like, that's a Suan I know.
Okay. Because I feel like sometimes, I am gonna tell a secret.
Okay.
I am 99.99999% of the time in practice, in love, in life, and everything. I try to move with sugar and honey. Okay, that's my natural state is to move with sugar and honey and everything nice. But everybody gets 3 times.
Mm.
You get 3 times. And when you get on that 3rd time,
Mhm.
then it's like, oh, okay. Then the vinegar comes out. So it has to be that 0.0001% of the time. And then you have to be on your 3rd time. So I'm not going to keep track. I don't keep track for you. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's your 1. That's your 2. No, we don't. Exactly. I don't give warnings. It's, if it happens, everyone around will be well aware.
You know what you did, basically.
What is it? Let's bring in
Marcy.
Cynthia, also Miami's own boss lady. Where's she at? Yes, a queen. She wears panties and you could keep your boxers. Okay. Knows how to deal with these alpha males. And it's just being a fly, beautiful boss mom lady. That's what we need.
Thank you, Sue-Ann.
Well, I am
Thank you
excited
for
and
having me.
grateful for you to be here. Thank you so much. And then it wouldn't be a party if Marcy didn't come through.
Okay.
It's giving fashionista. It's giving CEO. It's giving everything it needs to.
Thank you. I'm here.
Look, like me and Marcy had a whole would have these long ass silent conversations on the show just with facial expressions. I don't know if they caught them. A lot of times, I feel like we did get caught most of the time, but that's what I was talking to. A lot of times when you see my facial expressions on the show, I'm really actually talking to Marcy. So I'm excited for you to be here. I'm excited about your watch party tomorrow night, which we will definitely make sure to be in the building for that, and we will pop the flyer up.
Definitely.
So now we at the adult table. Let's get right into it. We ain't got to rip off no band-aids, okay? I'm gonna start with Timothy because he is currently married and doing what he needs to do. So what is your definition of Black love?
Oh wow.
That looks so good.
Oh wow. So my definition of Black love is 2 or more people who. Well, because I think there are different iterations of Black love. Like I love my wife, I love my children, I love my sister. So and I think it's important.
Well, I should say in a romantic relationship.
Oh, in a romantic relationship. Oh, okay. So I think 2 people who are. I think it's in its essence 2 people committed to doing life together and doing their best to love and honor the other, draw out the best in them, wanting the best for them, doing the best for them. What did Lauren say? It could all be so simple. We'd rather make it hard.
Okay, I like this definition. Okay, Anthony, what is your definition?
All right, let's see. Black love. I can't really put a definition on it. I would describe it though more of a Love Jones, loving basketball, poetic justice type of thing. You know what I mean? Like one of those things where it's just like organic, and no matter what you do, you're just drawn to it. No matter what time, distance, whatever comes in the way of it, like you're just drawn to it. Like either we're gonna do this today or we're gonna struggle without each other and draw back to each other later on.
Okay.
Anthony, does that mean you'll leave him on the side of the road though? Because that happened at Poetic Justice.
You know what, bro? It depends how much that.
Y'all, you left out Boomerang. Boomerang came back. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna sit back for you. I'm gonna let you know I'm serious though. So you gotta sit there for a minute. But I'm gonna come back.
Okay.
Okay.
Anthony, I was messing with you.
Okay, Cynthia, what is your definition of Black love?
Oh, my definition of Black love, and I'm gonna go there because that clip went viral I'm gonna go there. When two people submit to each other, okay?
Okay.
When two people love on each other equally, you know, they embrace everything about each other, they respect each other, and they wake up and choose each other every day. That's my definition of Black love.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
It was kind of deep and simple, but it's heavy.
Look light, but it's heavy though.
It's heavy.
What about you, Marcy? Because
Um,
I feel like you get everybody's like Marcy's so fun and Marcy's friendly. I don't know what the hell she be talking about.
They don't yeah.
No, they, I
She
think,
be knowing.
yeah, it gets a little deep sometimes. I think that Black love, specifically Black, is like in a world where you feel sometimes not seen. It's people that can relate to that, right? So love is love, right? People like to say that, but I think in a world where you sometimes don't feel seen, or there's a lot of injustice, there's a lot of things you can't explain to people that don't look like you. It's when two people that understand that background find each other and grow together and support each other. And it's just this nonverbal understanding of what it's like to be Black and find love and be able to grow in that and occupy that space together. So to me, that's what Black love is, separate from love is love, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful.
I very much like those definitions. And I agree with all of them actually. I think like Black love is something that's very unique to us because we both Black men and Black women or Black people that are in a relationship together in a romantic relationship, you're bringing all your life experiences and all the things that you've been through into this relationship, how you've been raised, you know, customs, culture, you know, different things, and then you're smushing it together and saying, you know, let's make it work. And I definitely think there's times for sure, having been to the other side and now being back, that you know, there's just some things that are inexplainable between a Black man and a Black woman. At the end of the day, at the end of the workday, or whatever, there's things that you don't have to explain, or you know, short language that you can use to kind of say, you know, they tripping today. Like he gonna know who they is when you say it. You know what I mean?
Relatability.
You will have to explain it to someone else. So I definitely agree with all your definitions. I think that for us, the people who went through this journey, ready to love, I think for me, I definitely went on there because I respect, admire, and desire to experience that at the highest level. What about you guys? What were your kind of motivations to participate in the crazy experiment?
Y'all go. I don't.
And remember, we're not, you know, we're on paperwork.
I mean, I think for me, what I describe Black love as is what I came in wanting to find and potentially get and experience, you know? So, yeah, finding that person that is going to wake up every day and choose me, you know, someone that, you know, will submit unto me, I will submit unto them, you know, and we just go on this journey called life together and we figure it out together, you know? So that was my purpose for
What do you think about people who say like, oh, you know, these people went on the show, I'm asking Anthony, because, you know, they just want to be on TV more and they're actors and we're all acting.
Let me tell you something. You asking Anthony? Oh, go ahead. My bad. My bad. My bad.
I will put it out there. Not one person on this cast was an actor. No one. And if you were an actor, this would not be the show for you to go on. To be honest, it really wouldn't. Like, I can think of other shows you go on and put yourself out there and promote yourself than Ready to Love. To be honest with
Yeah.
I feel like everybody had a different degree of what they went on there for. But at the end of the day, I feel like the end result, everybody wanted the same end result. No matter how it got to that end result, or no matter what we had to go through, everybody wanted the same thing. No matter if somebody wanted it on the surface level or on a deep level, I think everyone wanted the same thing.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Mercedes is on. I just saw Mercedes and Natasha.
Huh? Can y'all
I
tag?
just saw Mercedes and Natasha in the comments.
Hey, y'all.
So, Marcy, what do you think when people say that? Oh, we're actors, it's fake, blah blah blah.
I can't remember it yesterday, so trust me. To piggyback off what Anthony said, is Ready to Love is such a love show. It's no strips. It's none. Most importantly, I feel like that because look at the cast and the cast of professional people. So we do have business brands that we will promote, but Ready to Love seek out Black professionals.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, and you will be a fool as a professional to not tie into what you do. But the cost, what you pay so far is like an emotional distress. Trust me, y'all. This is as real as it's gonna get. I wish you could see the behind the scenes, the numbers. Like, it is real.
Right.
Mhm.
It's real.
Okay. I listen. Real emotions, real people. Like
For real.
Real
you
crazy.
can manipulate and you can kind of edit around and whatever, but I think there's nothing, our cast for sure, we were really going through it with each other.
Yeah. But I think professions that throw people off. Like if they saw more like, I think when they see the profession, like it's like, oh, they're just, but it's like, this is what they seek out. Seek out Black. That's the piece that people are missing about love. They seek out Black professionals, business or people that are already established themselves want to love.
Mhm.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cynthia,
I had to. Yeah, I'm here.
I know I had went to Anthony, but I do want to know, kind of like your approach, because I know you're always like on them.
So I had a friend of mine, watched the show and made a comment, and I got so upset. And I'm like, you know what? Just never talk about the show again. Like, don't talk to me about it. Like, don't mention it, because it's like what you're saying is hurtful, because I know what I went through and I know what my cast went through during the process. You on the opposite side, you just watching it on TV. You don't know what it took for these little 5-minute dates or whatever and stuff. You don't know what it took, all the energy like that was poured into it. Like it was borderline disrespectful. So I was like, listen, just don't watch it. Don't talk to me about it. Just listen. Just keep it. Let's talk about other things. I was taken back from that, because I think people don't understand. Like Marcia said, we are professionals. We have real lives, and we had to put those things aside to really pour into this. And only people that really want it would do that.
Yep.
Right. Right. Only people who really have an interest in that would put themselves through what we did.
Right.
Otherwise, you could just sit down on an app and be like, you know what? I'm gonna figure it out. So I totally agree with that. We went through a lot. Let me ask this, a segue, because we're talking about being Black professionals, and I think Timothy could kind of weigh in a little bit on it. Mm-hmm. I think that I don't believe in like a work-life love balance. I think that anything that's compelling, like love, like a very important case or whatever it is, or your family event, it's going to kind of pull you away from something else. So a long time ago, I committed to the fact that I'm like, hey, I'm never going to be able to be like even balanced. If I'm being a super good mom and going to Girl Scout meetings and doing everything I need to do for my kids, then obviously I'm not in trial, or I'm not on a date, or texting with a guy or something. I am winning at mommy at that time. And if I am on a date, then I'm winning at my love life at that time and not balancing something else. So I just feel like there's never a way to balance. It's more like just being able to kind of wear the different hats and just be present at when you have that hat on, being fully present. What do you think about that, Timothy, since you're kind of doing it in the way that we're all aspiring to do it, in the context
Thank you.
of
Sulan, I think you have the right perspective. Balancing to me almost signals multitasking, and you rarely are doing anything well if you're doing multiple things simultaneously. So I look at it as prioritization. What is most important in the moment and being present for that? And so for that, sometimes that means I need to rearrange my work schedule to be present with my wife. Sometimes I need to rearrange my work schedule to be present with my children. Sometimes I need to rearrange my work schedule to prioritize tasks at work. But whatever it is figuring out what is most important in the moment, being present for that. So, for example, this week, I had some professional engagements that I had previously scheduled. I found out that my daughter made it to the finals of a speech competition, and I had to call and reschedule some things. I said, my daughter needs her father there. So I'm going to be there, and that's what's most important to me in this moment. And just kind of as you were saying before, for me, nothing outside of my house is more important than who is in my house. And so, as a consequence, there are times where I need to step away to work or whatever. But ultimately, all of that can go if it has to, if it means to support my wife and children in that moment. Jobs will come and go. I love what I do. I'm really fulfilled by it. And I take great pride in being able to do it. But ultimately, it's about what do you value, who do you value, and what's the order that you value them in.
Absolutely. I agree.
Do you think that in order to be in a successful Black love, long-term relationship, us, meaning my other cast members that are on, and my cast members in general, and just people, not necessarily people already to love, that are looking for love or working on love or in new relationships, do you think that your career and things that you're working on professionally have to kind of take a back seat so that you can explore that aspects of your life? Or do you think that if it's the right situation that everything will just work together? Timothy, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So when you posted that you don't believe you believe that something compelling is going to disrupt your life, I believe that. Because when I met my wife, I had a plan and trajectory for my life, and when we met and began to grow together, I had to figure out a way to keep her in my life because I loved her and I wanted to do life with her. I wanted to grow old with her. So then it was a matter of how do I reorient things to fit this new dynamic? And the same thing with children. So we had about 6 to 8 months before my first daughter came, before at least my wife got pregnant with my first daughter, my oldest daughter. And so by the time she came, we'd been married about a year and a half. And then a year and a half after that, my son comes. 3 years after that, my youngest daughter comes. And it just becomes a matter of saying that these new additions have to fit. And so that means everything else has to be moved around. Even if that means discarding of something or finding new ways to conceive of things. But ultimately, that's what I think it's about. I was actually watching Intergalactic earlier today, the Kid Cudi film on Netflix, and the character is having some challenges with a woman that he has grown a bond with, and he's talking to his sister about it. And his sister said, "Love is easy when it happens on accident, but it's not real until you do it on purpose." And I thought that was a really powerful quote because it takes deliberate decisions every day to make sure that I am prioritizing the people in my life, and not only prioritizing them, but making everything else fit. And so everything else is just like, I'll figure it out. But this is the constant. And once I understand that, then everything else can work around that.
Natasha, who was one of our castmates, said that she definitely thinks it has to be reorganized, but we make time for what we want. And I also want someone that is understanding and understands that flexibility doesn't mean 100% availability, which I totally hear what she's saying. And I think a lot of times dating older or being outside older, you just have your kind of path. So then it makes it harder for both people to kind of do exactly what you're talking about, which is make that sacrifice. Because you're like, well, you know, if you really like me or whatever, then you can just reorganize such and such and such. But then at the same time, it's like if your career has been your constant, then it's going to take time for you to kind of be like okay with the sacrifice. It's not going to be instant. It's going to be like I think in stages if it's healthy. But what do you think, Anthony? Do you think you have to make a sacrifice? Do you have to make sacrifices with respect to your professional goals and your career if you are getting into a serious long-term relationship?
Definitely. I always tell people when I get involved with them and asking that question, you know, do you think you can make time for your career and everything you have going on in me? And I say, of course I can, but I need you to be patient with me while I make those adjustments. You know what I mean? Because me having my life a certain way and you coming into my life, I can't automatically flip it upside down and prioritize you the way you want to be prioritized. But if you give me a little time, I can make the adjustments needed in order to give you the time that you need and balance everything out.
Okay. What about you, Marcy? I know that you have an amazing career, you know, living your dream, essentially in fashion, in that business. Are there sacrifices that you feel like you're willing to make for love, for your relationship? If they're like, no, you can't go to, New York Fashion Week because you have to, it's during your man's birthday or something. Would you be willing to be like, okay, I'll sacrifice it? Or are you like, no, it's going to get somebody else to do it?
All right. I think, to be brutally honest, it was like, get somebody else to do it. Right? No, I'm just honest, right? For a long time, it was about me. Like the 20s was the golden years. Nobody was gonna live this life better than you got one life. But I think with honesty, I have to say my honesty now, which is realize that your love life is literally like your career life. Like you have to make sacrifices. Like the things that you want, you have to sacrifice for. So I think you mentioned it earlier, like it takes some time to adjust or relinquish that control, because when you're getting pulled in this way, these are your responsibilities and you love your career and you're accustomed to the sacrifice. And then it's not so sure thing that you love, but you like, and it requires some sacrifice too. It's a tough spot, but I do believe that it's necessary. The sacrifices, it has to come, because if you truly want that thing too, which is love, you got to bend a little, compromise. Look at me in my 30s knowing something.
Here for it. Mercedes said Marcia gonna figure out how to do it all. Cynthia, what do you think? Are there sacrifices that you are willing to make for your long-term relationship, like things you're willing to give up now, like if it's time with kids, if it's time with work, to move towards, or also have that lane open in your life? You there? Oh, you lost it?
Where you at?
I'm right here. Here I am. You see me? I think it's important to say, okay, so when we was in the process, we had no choice, right?
Right. No, absolutely. I think that's the best part of the process. It forces you to be like, hold on.
Right. But after the process, like my life always consists of work and my kids, work and my kids, work and my kids. But I said to myself, I would finally make space for a love life. You know, that would mean that I would just have to structure my schedule better, work harder on one day and take another day off or take an evening off or whatever the case may be. I can make time at this point in my life. I can make time. Before, no, I focus more on my career and my kids.
Okay.
Yeah, I was super mom, super businesswoman, super real estate agent. Like, I didn't really make time for love. But now, I guess I can like squeeze them in, but it does take time. It does take time because we got to think at this age that we are in, like you mentioned, like we're in our careers and, it has to be like a time adjustment. It has to be like a day adjustment. We got to, work around our routine. So, it takes time and I have all the patience.
Since Mercedes and Natasha are here and the three of us are here, I want to do this. Maybe we could do it in the chat. Mercedes and Natasha, if they're still on the stream, they could do it in the chat. Most likely to. Okay. Is Natasha and Mercedes still in the chat? If they are, then let us know that they're still there. Or else we'll just vote amongst ourselves. I don't know.
Oh, no.
I guess we could have a point. Can we point? Wait. Okay.
They can see themselves, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one is most likely to be late for dinner.
Oh wow, the votes look unanimous too.
My long ass fingers.
Natasha wrote.
What Natasha?
Mercedes, you have to write it. Who's gonna be late for dinner?
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. That's fine. But okay, let me just say this in defense of Marcia. She is going to arrive late but be worth the wait.
Period, friend. With all the
Don't hype her up.
That's a woman
You need to be on time,
justifying
Marcia.
We're trying to justify
Don't
that.
hype her up. You need to be on time. It's not acceptable.
Still late.
you heard, I'm trying to
Most likely to have children first or next.
Oh.
how you point over here?
Dang, this is hard.
Hold on a second. We have to name people that's in here or just everybody in general?
Oh
We have
wow.
to name people that's in here or just everybody in general?
Oh
You
wow.
can say you don't feel the person is in
Marcia,
there.
what is that?
Look at me.
Wait,
Okay.
I can't vote for Andrew because
Find somebody else to do it. Find somebody else to do it.
Find somebody else. There you go. That's the right answer. That's the right answer.
Anthony. Everybody said Anthony. That's hilarious. Anthony, why are you doing that to you?
I don't know. Had no
It's
clue.
good.
No
It's
clue.
that good
It's the daddy vibes. It's the daddy vibes.
that they like have another one.
Hey, look, I'm gonna say this. I did really good with my first one, so I know my next one's gonna be hell.
Like you.
Yikes.
That's typically how it goes.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Most likely to be the first one to the dance floor. I feel like
Listen, that one leg go out. She's on.
Can I vote for Natasha? Wait, where do I say the lip lawyer?
Marcia, up there, right?
Mercedes, Mercedes, I need about 2 shots of Patron, then I'll be on the dance floor. But other than that,
Okay,
Don't see the comment.
it's popping up on the screen.
I think it's Natasha. Okay, most likely to cry on the first date.
Cynthia.
So y'all being funny.
Cynthia didn't do that.
Cynthia crying.
Wow.
She didn't do that. So that's easy.
Well,
I am not crying on no date.
First, second, third, fifth, fourth, fifth, sixth.
You didn't do on a date.
Wow.
No date. That was just for the. That was just.
You got a good heart.
Okay, go ahead. Talk to us about it. It was nerves. Whatever. I don't know.
No, so the reason why I cried on that date with Andre is because I was being vulnerable. You know what I mean? I don't cry on dates.
Not everybody
We
cries.
didn't talk about dates. The thing was more
That's why everybody cries.
That's
No,
why when people
Marcia,
say it's
no.
I'm like,
The
no, y'all.
problem is that I don't be like that. I'm not a vulnerable person.
That's why
Get out of here.
Just to get out of here.
You heard what they said. I got a tough exterior. You know, I was bringing my softness out.
Y'all think Fabrice?
Like, for example, if I went on a date with Fabrice, there was no way. There was no way if I went on a date with Fabrice, there was no way that was going to happen. But yeah, he
Why?
probably definitely. Why would I? No. Fabrice would have been telling me how.
Y'all think this better?
You don't think
What
Fabrice?
did I have on?
You don't think Fabrice could be like soft and
My phone better.
no? Dang.
Well, I mean, maybe.
Look, after he gets past the fourth, I'm thinking about
You know, we didn't get the opportunity. So I have no idea.
No,
I couldn't-
I don't know. I don't think the way that he comes off that I would be able to adjust
Okay.
that conversation with him. Like, I wouldn't be able to do it. Like, no. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Get somebody else to do it.
Get somebody else to do it.
Mm-mm.
Most likely to move to another country.
Shit, I won't.
Mercedes.
Oh, maybe Mercedes, right?
Mercedes.
Ladies.
Mercedes be like, hey y'all, I'm in Santorini.
She'd be like, I did a year here. I'm gonna do a year here. I'm gonna do another year.
That's a beautiful life, Mercedes.
I love it. Okay. So I mean, I feel like I learned a lot just now. Things I didn't know.
This is a good game. I like
No. Y'all gotta take that back. Y'all gotta take that back.
The table question is, when you are in a relationship, are you friends with your friend's significant other?
Mhm.
Oh shit.
Mm-mm.
What's the always answer? Let Timothy answer first. Are you friends with your friend's significant other?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So my wife's friends became my friends became her friends. It's degrees, and like there are degrees to it. And so
Mm.
some people became closer than others to the other person. But some of my closest friends are people who knew my wife first, and vice versa. So for me, it was a prerequisite, in part because the people who were in my life accepted the person who was entering into my life when my wife and I got together, and just things kind of grew from there. You continue to do life together. You continue to have opportunities to grow and bond with each other.
Mercedes says yes, just have respect and boundaries. What do you think, Marcy? Because you were the first one to ask the question.
Wait. I'm confused by the question. Say the question again.
Are you friends with your friends' significant others?
I said, oh shit, cause I don't like it, but my best friends, spouses become like our crew, like they're around, but it can't. I don't promote it because I'm with my friend. Like when
Right. Right.
Bro,
Right.
Jack.
Yeah.
so, but
Yeah.
I think like Timothy said, like close friends is levels, right? You're not
Yeah.
gonna mess with nobody with your coworker spouse, who cares? But
Yeah.
your friends who want to thrive and grow, like family too. Like we all in this. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But the real question is, when they break up, do you be like, you still cool because y'all was cool, or okay?
Scratch all that
I'm
shit.
gonna ask you in a second, but let me just say this. My issue and why I don't do it is because I am very conflicted because I don't have a lot of close friends, but my close friends, you know, they're gonna come to you and be like, oh, he did this, he did that. And when we're having that conversation, I am locked in on your side. As long as you are not committing no crimes, I am locked in. Girl, what?
Yeah.
What kind of
I
crime?
didn't even speak to you on Thanksgiving because
Let's see
I heard
what type of crime.
it. So it's hard for me to be like, okay, well, she done told me that you did all this crazy stuff, and then be like, hi, how are you? Oh my gosh, you're gonna carve the turkey. That's
Oh, you be
wonderful.
mad at God. You be mad. I told you no. I be like,
I
Go
stay
ahead.
out of it. I think for me, I believe like there's a mutual level of respect and support. You know, you don't want to be biased because I take relationships very serious. So, you know, I can tell my friend, you know, listen, you was wrong. You know,
Right.
like I'm not going to take her side because she's my friend. You know, you want to be supportive for the whole, you know. But yeah, I am really riding with my friend. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna ever treat her spouse anyway because of what they gone through because it's not really my business. She has a decision to make, you know. I'm not gonna treat him any type of way. I'm gonna be respectful still or whatever, you know, and I'm gonna support my friend, but I'm not gonna disrespect him either. That's on her, you know what I mean? But just know if I have to pick a side, I'm gonna pick my friend. I'll tell her I may not do it in front of him, but I'm gonna tell her, like, you know, you wrong. You need to go apologize to that man. You know, I'm gonna do
You
that.
got accountability.
You know, yeah, you gotta hold accountability, but I'm
But
not
you don't
gonna.
do it behind the scenes though. You don't do it behind the scenes though.
Oh, man.
No, listen. They bring me into
You
a
gotta
room
have
with them too. I'm going to keep it mutual. I am gonna give scenarios. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you wrong, he wrong. I would make them see each other's point. Like, how would you feel if she would have done that or he would have done that? I'm not going to. They're gonna figure it out while we talking. They're gonna figure out who's wrong and who's right. It's not. No, I'm out of it. And I think, Suen, is important to say. You cannot tell your friends everything, especially if you still want your spouse.
She said you can't tell your friends everything.
Oh, I 100% agree with that. I 100% agree with that. I'm saying whatever you are sharing, I'm locked in with you. Like, in terms of the sides, like, you know, I'm locked in. Like, I'm gonna tell you, like, don't put Nair in his hair. Don't put hot sauce on him. Don't do things like that.
She on mute. She on mute.
At the same time, like, between our conversation, but if there's an issue or there's a problem and it's something gotta go down, like, I'm gonna be with my friends.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be with my friends. So, you know, that's what makes it hard for me because it almost feels like if I'm being disingenuous in a way, because it's like I know if I gotta pick a side, I'm not picking you.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna be kikiing with you. Like, I'm always gonna be respectful. All my friends can tell you, like, you know, I go to their house, I'm like, Mr. This, Mr. How are you, whatever. But then I'm like, okay, girl, so what is we doing?
I do think it depends though. Like,
yeah.
like my wife and I, we've been married 14 and a half years. So a lot of the people that are around us are either, thank you. So a lot of the people that are around us regularly are people that we've known for a long time. But even there's still degrees to which there are levels of closeness. Like I'm cordial with all of her friends, some of whom have legitimately become friends of mine too, and vice versa. But it's still like a case by case scenario. But ultimately, like we're friendly with each other's people, in part because the types of people that would come into our life, like I said, are people that go back with us a long time too. And so, and some of whom, most of whom that knew at least one of us before we were married. And so like just their long-standing relationships, but still it's like a case-by-case scenario. Like I said, some of her friends I'm closer to than others. Some of my friends she's closer to than others.
Timothy, let me ask you a question about that. So
I
you
think
mentioned you
14
guys
and a
have
half
similar
years in,
friends.
and they have a right. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Anthony, you said you had a question?
Yeah. Do you?
You gotta get closer to your mic because your audio.
Your wife
You
has
went
a
away.
friend, Timothy.
Yeah.
Do you contact your wife's friend around her, like text or call or anything like that? Or do you cross the line there at that and go through your wife to get to the friend or do it in front of her? How do you maneuver that?
Honestly, it really depends. So like I said, she has a couple of friends from college that I've gotten close to that, like I said, they're legitimately my friends. So like we talk, have conversations and things like that. My wife is privy to the conversations that we have and things like that. So it's not like I'm taking her friend from her, things like that. And then they still have their own relationship too. And some of my friends from college too, like one of my friends from college, she's closer to Rashida than I am now. And so that's just kind of how things kind of unfolded over time. But in a general sense, Anthony, I think the better answer to the question though is that we both have boundaries and respect for our relationship, and trust too. So my wife knows that if I'm contacting another woman, whether it's a friend that I had before I knew her, someone that I've met along the way, one of her friends or whatever, she knows that there's still a line that I'm not crossing in terms of appropriateness. Like, I mean, my wife is on PJ Morton. She's not trying to go through my phone, but she knows if she were, there's nothing in there that would alarm her or cause concern. And so that's kind of what it is. But like I said, she has a handful of friends that I've talked to pretty regularly, just in the course and scope of the day, course and flow of the day, and kind of vice versa.
Okay.
That's such important advice, though. That's really important advice because you were saying, you know, the trust is there, so it's not an issue. I feel like it could be a different scenario if you are newly in a relationship and then your friends are you know, it can be different depending on how deep, what level you're at with your actual relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. And so in that regard, that's partly how some of these things happen too. You know what I mean? And even as it relates to that, some of her friends that I've gotten close to, like there's still times where I'm like, y'all go away and y'all do y'all thing. Like I'm not trying to interfere with that either. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm trying to hang out with the girls either. It's just like, you know,
Right.
like, I'm not interested in that. So, but you know, like I might say, hey, how you doing? Like, you know, heard you're having a hard time with this or whatever. Like, how you doing? You know, stuff like that. And there's like really not an issue there. But like Sue-Ann said, a lot of this is over time. And these are things that grew organically. And so as like we're forging these bonds with like different people and bringing them into our periphery, like it's a gradual thing that's happening. I didn't like wake up one day and say, hey, like, give me your friend's number or something like that.
Right.
And I think it's also important to say, I'm sorry, I think it's important to say that you kind of have to build like a community, like of trust with people too, that you know that they genuinely want you guys together, genuinely happy for you guys, genuinely want to support you guys, because we all know that relationship, like everything else, is not easy. So, you know, when your wife or your spouse, you know, trust call a friend, they know that this friend can give you great advice, you know, because you have some people, you know, they're just there for division. They're not there for togetherness. And you got to be able to see and be able to know who's who. So I think it's important to say that too. You have to have that community of trust within the friendship of your spouse.
Absolutely.
You don't talk to everybody.
Yeah, and we don't bring everyone in. I mean, honestly, like y'all understand, just with just the pace of life, it's hard to have friends anyway. You know what I mean? And several of us have children too. So between work and children and anything else, it's hard anyway. So there are only but so many people that are close to us to begin with. And then from there, it's just a matter of, again, some of these relationships have grown and evolved over time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with that. I can definitely say when I was married, the friends that I had definitely aligned with who he was friends with because of the pace of life. So it's easier if we're like, okay, we're going to a dinner party with people we both are cool with, as opposed to trying to carve out time for friends that, you know, are separate. Not that those things didn't occur, but your friends do start to kind of align because you're able to give the time to the friendships and relationships that you share as you're sharing your life with the person.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love this conversation, by the way.
Look at Natasha. What question is that, Natasha? No.
Oh, Natasha asked me, have you ever had a friend, significant other cross the line?
Friends.
My real good people. So
I haven't, and honestly too, like, I mean, people are going to be people, and some people are going to be trifling. But I honestly think too that if you give the impression that there are certain lines that won't be crossed, most people aren't going to embarrass themselves.
Right.
So, like again, some people just will if that's just how they are. But again, I think more times than not, that's a product too of how people perceive your relationship and even how they perceive their access to you. But I mean, again, sometimes people are going to cross the lines. I personally have not had that. But I do know
it has a lot to do with if they think your significant other, that there's going to be repercussions and consequences. I feel like you then have to know that your significant other has a little bit of spice. Like,
that's true.
Display it.
Here come the Biggie in here. You sound like don't she look like she acting out the warning video? Like it's coming. Why are you trying to stick me for my paper?
You gotta have that little. You gotta let them. Like, I have a little bit of spice. Like I'm not. It's not on display, but just know if you try it.
Yeah.
Hey, Slim. I was saying that's what watch part. I'm like, Swen got it in her.
She got what?
You got it in you. I saw it. I was.
Oh yeah, she did. She did. It's there.
I mean, I keep it at bay. So I told all my secrets tonight on the show. Thanks, guys. I was vulnerable. I told you guys that I tried to vinegar comes out sometimes, and then I have a little bit of spice. Hey, that's all you're getting for the rest of the series. Oh, it's
you said something that day. Yeah. You was a little.
I will. Okay, the Mercedes. No, I just want to say to as we're getting to the close of the show, how much I appreciate you guys and handpicked each of you to share this premiere experience with me. And I'm just honored to know each of you and to have shared the experience with my castmates. And obviously, me and Timothy go way back to COVID.
That's right.
Just a person that you can absolutely lean on, that I do lean on often, professionally and personally. So I appreciate you guys being here, and I appreciate Natasha, ladies, and everybody who is on the live and stayed with us this long. It's our first time, but we definitely plan on doing it every week right here, same time, same place. We'll start at 10 and we will get it going. Please make sure that tomorrow
Okay.
is in the place for Marcy's watch party. We're all going to be there. Turning up
Aw.
tomorrow. I can't see the address to say the address, but Marcy, tell them where to follow, get the info.
You say tell them where to follow.
Yeah, to find you to get the info. It's up on the screen.
Oh, okay, yeah. So tomorrow night we're gonna party. If you know anything about us, Miami 2.0, we love each other. We party. We have a great time. Every week you could catch us outside. Tomorrow there's something different. We're gonna start us at the. It's gonna start 7 o'clock. Red carpet. 8 o'clock. Y'all all in.
Everybody's invited. Oh, Heartfelt Counseling Center said, I think you all were fearless. It takes a lot to put yourself out there. Child, yes.
Oh, that's my bestie.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
See, she can tell us how Cynthia is faring in her being friends with friends. But I know Cynthia's solid. She's 10 toes down. She's doing what needs to be done.
Listen,
So
10 toes
I
down.
want to make sure before we close out that everybody who joined me at the adult table today has an opportunity to kind of let everybody know where to follow them, where to hit them up. So I'll start.
I guess to be praying.
Huh?
If Tony was here, we'll be praying at the
Did you say praying or pregnant?
Mercy.
praying.
Okay, I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit. I was like, oh, she's gonna be the next one to have a baby.
There's
Oh
one
my goodness.
at the end.
No.
There is an adult table prayer. We're gonna say it at the end.
We should come up with a prayer. We gotta hit Tony up.
Okay. So Marcy, party tomorrow. What's your on social media?
So my social media is below. It's the same on every platform. Marcy did it. Like somebody did it. Marcy with an I. MARCI did DIDIT.
Okay. I appreciate you, Queen. Timothy.
Yeah, sure thing. So my social media is my name. I'm primarily on Instagram and Twitter for as long as Twitter is going to hang around. I don't know how long that'll be, but everything is just at Timothy Welbeck, 1L. I also have a website, timothywelbeck.com. It's kind of the home for everything I do. So if you're interested in more of the stuff I'm doing, it's there. But those are some great ways to connect with me.
Timothy, I appreciate you so much for
Likewise.
being the voice of reason on here tonight. And you
Listen,
know,
I'll-
really some gems because we be needing some gems. Like we feel like we know what we're doing because we are grown, because we are successful in our careers, but it's always good to be grounded in someone who is currently living, you know, something that we're looking for and aspiring to. So I appreciate you.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate you all. It takes a lot of courage and vulnerability to put yourself out there like that in this setting and on a television show and just in general, particularly at the stage of life that you're in. You all are successful in what you do. And so to open yourself up for the prospects of love takes a lot. And so I applaud you all's efforts in that and grateful for the conversation. Suanne, you know, I appreciate you. I owe you an E. But yeah, but thanks for having me on tonight.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Cynthia!
Hi guys. Well, you can find me at Truly Sin, TRUI_CYNN. You can find me on my real estate page, which is my name, Cynthia_S Paul.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you for having me. It was a great experience and great topics.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad. And Anthony, last but certainly, and of course never least, the man.
You can find me at I am _Anthony Martin NP on Instagram and skyslimit.health.com. my business, and I will not be with you guys tomorrow night. I'll be at the hospital, but I hope you guys have an amazing time.
We're calling you on FaceTime. We're calling you on FaceTime.
I will answer. You good? I'll answer.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys again. I appreciate everyone that was in the stream. Please like, subscribe, and share. And I can't wait to be with you guys again at the adult table next week. The adult table prayer goes like this. You have to repeat after me.
Oh, there it is.
Universe. Please.
Please.
Keep those that are not at the adult table away from me.
That is not at the adult table.
Please keep those that not at the adult table far away from me.
Oh, wait.
Oh my goodness.
Please let the
Hey. How go? Find somebody else. Find somebody else.
Amen. Well, have a great night, guys. Thanks again. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you for staying. Thank you, everyone who's in the stream. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Let's go short. This might be my party.